Okay, so welcome back, and now we're going to do an example of using the left endpoint and right endpoint approximations. I'm not going to draw a picture. You can find pictures and examples in the textbook or elsewhere that can show you visually what's going on. All I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the rule and show you that you get an approximate value. Okay, so here's the function. So we want to find the area under this curve over this interval, and we want to use 4 subintervals. That's how we read this. Okay, so first of all, I need to find delta x. Well, I realize that this is A and this is B. Here's n, so delta x is equal to B minus A over n. And so that's going to give us what? 2 over 4, which equals a half. So delta x is equal to 1/2. Okay, so now that gives me what my x values need to be. I need to go from, so this implies, right, that I is going to go from 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? So that means, based on my delta x is a half, x sub I, right? So x of I is going to be x of 0, x of 1, x of 2, x of 3, and x of 4. So x of 0 is going to be my A, which is 0, and it's going to go up by a half. Remember the formula? So I'm just going to go up by a half. So this is going to be 0, 1/2, 1, 3 halves, or 1.5, 2. And notice how I automatically end on B. So that tells me I did it right, right? So if your delta x is correct, you should be able to start at A and keep adding delta x and end on where you should, which is at B. So I'm confident that I'm good. So now I've got my subintervals. So my subintervals are basically this, right? My subintervals are going to be from 0, comma, a half, comma, 1, 1, comma, 1.5, and then finally 1.5, comma, 2. Okay? So those are my subintervals. So now, guess what? All I have to do is apply the rule now. So, I'm going to do the right hand, and then I'll do the left hand. Or no, you know what, I'll do left hand, then right hand. Well, it doesn't matter, but. So, A is approximately equal to L sub n, which is equal to what? The summation for I equals 1 to n of f of x sub I minus 1, right? Times delta x. That's the rule. So now what does that mean? It means that I'm going to take x sub I minus 1. So that means x0. So I'm going to take f of x0 times delta x plus f of x1 times delta x plus f of x2 times delta x and plus f of x3 times delta x. Okay, now all I'm going to do is substitute, right? So f of x1, well, this is x squared, right? F of x is x squared. So x0 is 0. So this is going to be 0 squared times a half, because delta x is a half. Plus, what's x1 is a half. So this is going to be a half squared times a half. Plus, plus 1 squared times a half, oops, plus 3 halves squared times a half. And so now this equals, well, this is just going to be 0. Okay. This is going to be 1/8 plus 1/2, right? 1/8 plus 1/2, and then this is going to be 9/4. So 9/4 times a half is going to be 9/8, right? And so this is going to be 4/8. I can just change this to 4/8. So everything's in eighths. And now I'm just going to add these, and I get 14/8, which is the same as 7/4, which is 1 3/4. And so that is the approximation I get. Is that right? Let me see if I got that right. Yep. So 1 3/4. Okay, now keep that in mind. So now I'm going to keep writing. I'm just going to erase because I don't have room, but I can go ahead and erase. So now I'm going to just do the right endpoint approximation. So I'm going to write R sub n, right? So now I don't have to do any more work because I've already got everything there. So now the right endpoint approximation is going to equal the summation. This is equal to 1/2. Okay. And so this is going to be from I equals 1 to n. And now it's going to be f of x sub I times delta x. And so that's going to be now the right endpoints. So I'm going to start with 1/2. So it's going to be f of 1/2 times delta x plus f of 1 times delta x plus f of 3/2 times delta x plus f of 2 times delta x. And so that gives me what? It's going to give me 1/2 squared times 1/2 plus 1 squared times 1/2 plus 3/2 squared times 1/2 plus 2 squared times 1/2. And so this is going to equal what? 1/8 plus 1/2 plus 9/8. So the 3 middle ones are the same, right, from before. And now I have plus 4/2, which is 2. Right? So I'm going to change these to eighths just to make it easy to add. So this is going to be 4/8 again. And this is going to be 16/8. And so what do I get? I get 38, which is equal to 15/4, which is equal to 3 3/4, right? Yeah. No. Yeah. 3 3/4. And that's it. So with the left endpoint approximation, I got 1 3/4. With the the right endpoint approximation, I got 3.75, or 3 3/4. Okay, so quite a difference, right? So there was a difference in 2. And that makes sense because we had 0 in the other one at the beginning, and then all we did was cut off the 0 one and add 2. So that makes sense. Okay, that's it. Have a great day.